According to a well-known saying, taking timely action can prevent major problems in the future. This saying perfectly illustrates the proactive approach the Prince Dakwa Abiodun-led administration adopted in order to safeguard the health of its citizenry from the recent outbreak of anthrax disease, which had spread to neighboring countries and some states in Nigeria. Recently, anthrax outbreak was reported in Ghana and some states in Nigeria, including Lagos State, which has close proximity with Lagos. Anthrax is a bacterial disease caused by a spore-forming bacterium Bacillus anthracis, a type of gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria. It is naturally found in soil and commonly affects both domestic, livestock, and wild animals. Animals become infected by breathing in or ingesting spores from contaminated soil, plants, or water. Species such as cattle, sheep, goats, antelope, and camel can also be affected. Humans can also contract anthrax by coming in contact with infected animals, inhaling spores, or consuming contaminated animal products. This disease can lead to severe illness in both human and animal. In view of this, adequate measures have been taken by the Ogun State Government through the Ministry of Agriculture, Health and Environment respectively to sensitize the public on the disease. Recently, the team took the sensitization program to Olorunishola Cattle Market, Isheri and Atokun International Market in Ifo and Yewa North local government areas of the state. Speaking at the sensitization program, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Samuel Adeogun, said the purpose of the visit to the cattle sellers is to educate the people about the disease.
On the spread of the disease anthrax that is zoonotic, that is, it affects both animal and livestock and human beings. And so what the government is doing is a preventive approach so that we wouldn't allow us to wait till when we have an outbreak of anthrax. So what we are doing is to sensitize critical stakeholders, particularly that has to do with our animals as well as the public health, so that we can prevent the spread of anthrax in Ogun State. We don't want to wait till when there is an outbreak, but we want to put in place machineries to prevent and ensure that necessary things are put in place should there be an outbreak, so that we can easily curtail the spread of this disease should there be an outbreak in Ogun State. Apart from doing this sensitization, which has started across the various locations where we trade in our livestock, as well as where we kill the livestock, that is the slaughter slab. So it's important that we all know what precautions we need to take, what actions we need, what things we need to do so as to prevent the spread of this disease in Ogun State.
Mr. Adeogun noted that the state government had established an emergency operations center that would respond swiftly if there is any case of the disease.
Compliance is not about, it's going to be about the fact that once there's an outbreak, in most of these markets, slaughter slabs as well as the markets, we have our veterinary officers there who will be contacted immediately in case there is an outbreak. Because once there's an outbreak, there should be a report. And that's what we are also encouraging during the sensitization. That once there's an outbreak, report immediately. So that necessary precautions will have been taken by the respective units of and agencies of government on what to do, whether it's for the animal or for the human beings. Because if we don't take those necessary precautions, then we can have a big case in our hands. So part of the things the state government has done is to establish the Emergency Operations Center, which is an all-encompassing committee of all critical stakeholders in the public health domain of the state. That includes the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Environment, the World Health Organization, as well as even the local government, so that we'll be sure that we all take the necessary precautions. So as soon as there's a report of an outbreak, the various subcommittees, the various aspects of that center will be activated immediately to be able to curb and control the spread of the anthrax disease.
Representing the World Health Organization, Mrs. Afolake Ogunlaja urged the cattle sellers to promptly report any incidents of anthrax to the appropriate authority.
What we want from you is for you to report early when you detect any of your livestock, cows, goats, or any animal that is not doing well, like that they are sick or they are dying, suddenly dying. We want you to report on time to the veterinary officers and the agri people. They are all working with you. We don't want you to hide anything. If you report early, this disease can be treated. And we also want you to know that it can also affect human beings. And we do not want you to be affected in any way by the anthrax disease that is going on. That is why the Ogun State Government and in the Department and Ministry of Agriculture has come to talk to us, to let us know that there is something going on now and what we need to do.
Also speaking, Dr. Tade Adeniyi from the Department of Veterinary Services said the state government has given the mandate to educate the public about the disease.
The government is in tune with the challenges that is up now, which is anthrax, and that's why we are here. The government needs to pass an level of information to the people to know what to do per time. That's why we have come for sensitization, and fortunately for us, in this gathering today is all encompassing gathering. We have representative of Ministry of Agriculture, headed by our permanent secretary, representative of Ministry of Health, representative of Ministry of Environment, representative of WHO, and our staff or officers on ground here are also equal to the task. So we are concerned about the volume of business going on in this in this environment, and that's why the government must communicate with us, and we take responsibility to make sure that our business is untouched by this disease, and we can move forward and make more gains in our livestock production by the grace of God.
The Risk Communication Pillar Head, Emergency Operations Center, Dr. Gbenga Afolabi, stated the purpose of the sensitization.
We are here to notify them of the outbreak that is ongoing in the country, and also to know their knowledge of the anthrax that is up. Anthrax is a disease of zoonotic importance, that is, it affects man and animals, and it is caused by a bacteria known as Bacillus anthracis, which is a spore-forming bacteria. This spore-forming attribute of the bacteria empowers it more to have effects, because it does not take you to even eat before you can get infected. It comes through even inhalation of the spore. So ordinarily breathing in the spore can cause infection. Then eating contaminated meats will cause like that. The animal that is already affected will be transmitted to man. Then handling, by the time even contaminated water too can cause infection. And then through the skin, it has a cutaneous route of infection. When the spore or the organism gets in contact with your skin, it can get infected too that way. Compliance, we have our staff across the states. They are all alert on the outbreak, and then the government is already making jingles on the media, on the radio, and then the video on OGTV. And the states have initiated the EOC team, which is Emergency Operations Center, which comprises of the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Health, then Department of Veterinary Service, Ministry of Agriculture. And now, like you can see from the sensitization today, they are demanding that we include the farmers group in that EOC group. The government will look into that because it is for a purpose, it is for a common goal.
Also, the state chairman, Cattle Breeders and Dealers Association, Ogun State Chapter, Pastor Akindele Abayomi, appreciates the state government for the prompt enlightenment drive.
Actually, we have just been hearing about the disease before, but now that they've came, we know how to identify the disease. They give us the symptoms and the signs and what to do when we observe or when we discover it. That we need to refer such situation to the veterinary officers around us. Actually, after this sensitization, we are still going to have our own meeting because this is, as we have been told, that this is a killer disease. It affects the animal and it affects human being. That is zoonotic. and it affects our business. So, and we will not allow such an animal to come into our market because we know it will also affect other animals. So we are still going to have our own meeting where we are going to make some little decisions how to resist such an animal, and people are bringing in their cattle from other states to our market here, and most especially to our farmers in the bush.
Meanwhile, the present administration of Prince Dakwa Abiodun has always given attention to training and retraining of officers in the civil service to enhance efficiency in service delivery. In line with this, the Bureau of Establishment and Training, in conjunction with AA Cosmopolitan Memory, recently organized a 2-day training on manpower budgeting and staff inspection, as well as pension administration for principal administrative officers in the civil service at Obas Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Declaring the training course open, the Ogun State Head of Service, Mr. Kola Peter Fagbon, encouraged officers to make most of the capacity training in order to gain fresh insights.
I charge you all to take advantage of this training to acquire knowledge and sharpening your skills in the aspects that the training will cover. The tasks ahead of you at federal level are such that require smartness, resilience, professionalism, and sound intellectual contributions to the official management of your respective agencies. Basically, you shall now be fully involved in policy formulation of your agencies and decision-making process of the state government. Hence, you cannot afford to be lacking in skills, knowledge, quality, and virtues. As such, you are encouraged to also go beyond the confines of this training and acquiring more knowledge and skills that will make you stand out in your service to the state and make you a proud, thoroughbred administrative officers.
Mr. Fagbon appreciates the state government for approving the training.
Training about 200 officers at a go is not an easy task. A lot of resources, both human and capital, have been deployed and some modalities forgone to make today's training a reality. It is on this note, therefore, that I express my immense gratitude to the government of the state, His Excellency President Abiodun C.W. for his commitment to capacity development of the state workforce and for graciously approving funds for the conduct of this training in spite of the competing demands for the limited resources of the state. Indeed, we are grateful to His Excellency for his kind support toward the welfare of state force.
In his remarks, the Permanent Secretary, Civil Service Commission, Mr. Adedayo Shomoye, said the training will have direct impact on officers' service delivery.
Training and retraining is very important for an upward-looking public service. Training has a direct impact on the service, productivity and performance. It gives employees a better understanding of their responsibility, knowledge and skill.
Also, the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Public Service, Mr. Jola Oyeneye, enjoined the participants to be open to learning.
You want to learn from a set of the best in the public service of Ogun State of the past and who are still relevant in the present. I'll tell you, at the risk of being named, I will tell you, those who ignored these eggheads, they are counting their losses today. Please don't underestimate what you can learn from this meeting.
While welcoming participants to the training program, the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Establishment and Training, Mrs. Bolaji Fajombo, said the purpose of the training is to improve the skills of officers and enhance their abilities.
The Bureau continues to identify gaps that are needed to be filled as well as make plans to achieve the same. The Scheme of Service 2003 edition provides that a principal administrative officer grade level 12 must attend a course in either manpower budgeting and staff inspection, pension administration, management consulting, or grading to be eligible for promotion to grade level 13. This is to ensure that the officer has the required knowledge before moving into the middle level management.
The lead consultant, AA Cosmopolitan Memory Consult, Alhaji Kunle Adegbite, said the training is required to make officers perform more efficiently and effectively.
Today's program is part of the implementation of training and development policy of His Excellency, the State Government, in building the capacity of senior officers in the service at various levels for enhanced performance as they progress in their cadre to the senior management level in the service. The Governor has also restated his pledge to improve on the quality of the state civil servants so that they will be more competent, professional in discharge of their responsibilities for efficient and effective service delivery for the good people of Ogun State.
Various papers were delivered at the training course. Mr. Muiwa Adenopo, a retired permanent secretary, spoke on manpower planning.
Planning is a process of preparing for a change. Yeah, because it's a change. When we want to, okay, let's go to this way. There was a time we were using typewriters. Did anyone of you know how a typewriter works in the service? From there, we moved to electronic typewriters. Is that not so? It is from there now that we moved to laptop computers and so on and so forth. I remember Italian was to give a lecture at the Civil Service Commission, which is one of our guys. Started when he was the chairman of the commission. Laptops were not available then. Laptops were so rare. If you see anyone that has a laptop, that person will be big man. So what did you do? We have to carry our desktop from planning, that was planning, from planning to Civil Service Commission at Kiliwe. We are still at Kiliwe. We are here. We have to carry there to make the presentation. And it was worth it. Though we are all this is what all we are saying about planning. Planning is what is the process of defining the vision and developing strategies for attaining that defined future in the most efficient manner. In the most what? It's not getting to the future that is really important. But you must do it in the most efficient. That means you must spend less, both in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of other inputs. And when you do it, it must be effective. That is, it must be able to achieve what you want to achieve. You may spend less, you may spend more, but if you don't achieve that goal, that purpose, then you have not done an efficient job.
Also speaking, Mr. Adebisi Osholashe, a retired permanent secretary, delivered a paper titled The Process of Staff Inspection and Staff Supervision in the Civil Service.
Staff inspection, staff supervision. We want to learn about it in order to be able to work, to be able to do what? To assist government in delivering its mandate to the people. Because as I said earlier, we are the one that assist the government in driving the very manpower budgeting is a corollary to staff inspection and staff supervision. That is, they go together. Once we are well grounded in manpower planning and manpower budgeting, then you must equally be very good to work or have a very adequate, very deep knowledge of what? Of staff inspection and staff supervision. The primary purpose of government is that of what? Is that of providing public goods and services to the people. And this is usually done through what? Through public administration. Civil servants, like I said earlier, we play a very critical role in what? In public administration. Because we assist government in executing. But not only that, but when policies are formulated, and that was why it was emphasized that you people must be well good, because we are moving to the top. When policies are formulated, you are part of it that to be consulted to come and see government to do what? In putting pen on paper, we push it up, then the government will now review, and at the same time, do what? Approve and send it back to for what? For execution.
It is crucial to note that the state government does not joke with the wellness and welfare of the citizens by ensuring they get timely information as issues unfold in all sectors, coupled with regular training and retraining of staff in the civil service to advance the progress of the state. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.